In this episode of Jasanswers, I'm going to answer a question from Kristine Em. And Kristine is asking, "Hi Jason, can I ask what's the difference between remote work and freelancing?" Well, they are very different and there's confusion. Most people think they're the same, remote work and freelancing. But remote work is defined as working for a company, but you're just at home. You know, you're anywhere but the office. You could be traveling, you could be in a coffee shop. Remote work is you're working, but you're not in the office. You're not actually in the office. So that's what remote work is. And you know, you might be. I know there are people, even in the Philippines, we have some companies that offer remote work. Like there are, I know Unilever has some employees that can work that only come into the office like 2 times a week. The rest they can do remotely. They can do from home. And this is more common in the US and in Western countries where they offer remote work now as more of an option, where you come into the office once a week or maybe even once a month, and you can do the rest of the work at home. And that's what remote work is. With freelancing, the difference here is that you're not employed by one company. Okay, you're not employed by one company when you're freelancing, but you have the option of working with multiple different clients. You're not an employee, you're a service provider, just like if you need to hire a plumber, right? If you're hiring a plumber to work on your home, they're not your employee, right? But they are a service provider. They provide a service to you. So they are plumbers, they're freelancers because they can work with multiple clients. It's the same thing if you're a freelancer. You can work with multiple clients. You don't just stick with one client. You aren't just obligated to follow the rules with one client and do everything the one client asks, but you can work with multiple clients. So actually most virtual assistants and most customer service people in this definition fall under remote workers because they are almost act as employees for a company. And there's a very complicated definition in the US as to how you define employee or not. But my own definition is that if you only work for one company mainly, if that company takes up more than 4 hours of your day and you have to work at least 4 hours a day, then I say you're employed by that company. And you might be freelancing for other clients, but you're employed for that company. You're doing remote work for that company. But if you can work with multiple clients as you wish, then that is the real definition of freelancing. So it's a bit confusing, but in our discussions in the Facebook groups, anyone who's working as an outsourced person is freelancing. So that's our own definition. I know it's not 100% correct, but as long as you're working from home or you're working from wherever and you're working for a company or a client that is somewhere else in the world, then you're considered a freelancer. So depends who you ask, and it is still confusing and people just use the terms differently, but technically a lot of the freelancers are actually remote workers. So a little bit of confusion there. Anyway, I'm sorry if I wasn't really able to answer your question, but that's because different people have different definitions of this. But if any of you guys watching have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later.